Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, and thanks for stopping by and watching. In this spray paint art video I'll be trying out the Ironlak Lak Spray Paint to see what it's like for spray paint art. Ironlak Lak is Ironlak's higher price spray paint in their range. It comes in a 400ml can and has a dual pressure valve system for high and low pressure output. It also comes with a Widowmaker fat stock cap. The lacquer base is acrylic. It has a gloss finish and there are around 120 colours in the range. And the price per can may vary depending on what country you live in. In the UK it's around £3.80 a can. So the colours I'll be using are Atlantic, Lightning, Matte Black and Aspen White. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is a cap test to see how the cap sprays. So I'll be using the stock cap that comes with the cans in this video, which is a Widowmaker fat cap. And I'll be doing a cap test on a 4-inch wide piece of glossy card. Right, before I go any further, I'd just like to say these are my own thoughts and findings about how well the Ironlak Lak Spray Paint works for making spray paint art. Right then, before you use the cans, make sure you give them a good shake for at least 2 minutes each. And when you get them, there'll be a plastic thing just underneath the caps like this. This is only there to protect the cap so it doesn't spray everywhere while in transit. So I'll just take the plastic caps off the rest of these cans. So as you can see, it's there. So you just have to press it together and pull it out. So I'll just do the other cans. So you just pull it out. So it stops the cap from pressing down. I've only got 3 of these caps for the 4 cans because when I ordered them, they sent me one of the old cans, the old Ironlak Lak cans, which had a different cap on them. So I'll be using the cap that comes with the newer cans for this tutorial. Like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is a cap test. So this is the first time I've tried the Ironlak Lak Spray Paint. Give it a good shake. So just bring some paint through the cap. So as you can see there, the cap produced a wideish line there, about 2.5–3 inches wide. It also let quite a lot of paint out as well, but that's something a fat cap does, lets more paint out. So I'll just give you a closer look at that. Now the cap test is out of the way, I'm going to see what it's like to paint with. So for this space painting I'll be using glossy card, which is A2 in size. And the materials I'll be using are some lid stencils. These are just off food tubs, round food tubs, just the lids. I'll be using a paint scraper, a metal paint scraper. A palette knife to sign your work with at the end. I'm going to be using one of these, which is another food tub, which I've cut a hole in the bottom. And I'll be using this plastic sheet. It's from a bag which I've cut up so it's easier to use to make the texture in this painting. So the first thing we'll do is get the lid stencils for your planet and place them on the sheet where you want them to go. So I'm going to have one there. And I'm going to put another one on top like that. First of all, I'll do the outline of this one. So I'm going to use the blue, the lighter blue. So just get some paint through the cap. Like I said, I've never used these. It's going to let a lot of paint out, this is. So as you can see, being a fat cap, lets a lot out. So I'll put that cap out of the way for now. So I'll be doing this planet first, so I'm going to fill the inside of the outline in. First of all, I'm going to use a darker blue. So you don't have to press the cap down on these fat caps much. It lets a lot of paint out. See? That's just lightly pressed there. It produces quite a lot of paint out of the cap. Let's move on to a lighter blue. And then a bit of black. And then some white. See, with, like I said, fat cap, loads of paint will come out. So I'll be pressing the cap down pretty light, so don't get a lot of paint out. So then we'll get the material we're using for the texture and place it on the sheet where you want your texture on your planet. So like that, so I'm going to leave it like that texture. So now I'm going to do the highlights and shadows on him. So I'm going to be pressing this really light. See what it's like for misting to do the highlights. See, it produces a lot of paint. Not very good mist there. In the shadowed area. See, I'm only really pressing the cap light and a lot of paint's coming out. Right, so that's the first planet done, so I'm going to get the lid stencil and place it back over it. But ideally you want the paint to be dry before putting the lid stencil on, so the lid stencil doesn't dig into the wet paint and leave a ring on your planet where the lid was sitting. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and place the lid stencil on while it's wet. So we'll get the lid stencil, place it on the sheet where you want your planet. So I'm going to put mine there. Now I'm going to get the other lid stencil now, and I'm going to have another planet there. So do an outline. Pull the lid stencil off. I'm going to leave that lid stencil on there while I do this other planet, so then you get no spray onto it. So a lighter blue, the aqua colour first. See, lets loads of paint out. And then I'll get a darker blue. And then the black, just going to go a bit lighter around this lid stencil. And then the white. And we'll get the plastic sheet of the material you're using to make the texture with. Give it a bit of a crunch up so you get some lines in it for your texture. Be a bit careful around that so don't move the lid. So I'll just move the lid there. Place it back on. It's let a lot of paint out of it, these fat caps have. So I'll do for a texture on that planet. Then we're going to do the highlight and shadows on it. So first the white. So see, try and get another mist. Press it a bit lighter. Still like quite a bit of paint out. Pressing it lighter. And have a shadowed area. So that's the highlight and shadow done on that planet. So I'll take this lid off. That one. Like I said, I'm going to be putting the lid stencils on while the paint is wet. So I'll get the big one now. I'm going to put that back over. There's quite a lot of paint on here, so I'm expecting it to leave a ring around the planet. So I'll just place it on there. So it's really wet, the paint is. So now we're going to do the background. So we'll get the black and fill the background in. So I'll just go around the planet first, lightly. I'm going to add a bit of colour to it first. A bit there, and a bit there. Bit of a dark blue. I think we'll put a bit of white. Spitting a bit of a cap is here. Right, now we'll get the black and we'll cover all the sheet in black now. See, with it being a fat cap, it'll soon fill the back in. The background black. Trouble is, using the fat cap for spray paint art, it lets loads of paint out, so you use the cans faster as well. So really, there's a bit too much paint down on this background now. It's like a quarter of a can gone already. What I'm just going to do, bring a bit of a colour back through. See, because there's a lot of paint down, the colours mix together. Just do a bit up here. There's way too much black paint down on here. That's because of fat cap. I'll just put a bit more here and there. Like I said, first time using these paints, so like anything new, you've got to get used to it. So I think I'll do for a bit of galaxy texture and the painting. So Get the blues again. I'm just gonna see what it's like for misting. See, let's loads of paint out. Can't really get a good misting effect with these caps. Even if you press the cap lightly, it comes out a lot. So get the black. Just fade it in either side. I might just put a bit of dark blue down this side, like that. I'll just add a few there, I think. I'll just pass it lightly there. I think I'll do for the colours in the background. So now I'm going to add some stars to the background. So what you want to do is spray some white onto your fingers here. Like that. And then what you want to do first, after you spray some onto your fingers, just flick some of it away from the painting first, like a couple of times. Because if you don't, you'll have big white blobs on your painting that don't look like stars. So just flick your fingers to make the stars. You might have to flick a bit more away from the painting, because like I said, these caps produce a lot of paint. A lot of paint come out of them. See, there's quite a bit of paint on my fingers then when I did them. So you get like big white blobs here that don't look like stars. So I think that'll do for the stars in the background. So I'll just wipe this paint off my fingers. So I was going to do a big star in this painting. I don't know, somewhere there or here somewhere, but with the cap spraying a lot of paint out, it's not going to work. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the white paint. I'm just going to try one on here, I think, before I put it on the painting. See what it's like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a go with a star on here to show you. So when you're making the stars, you want to spray the white paint into the middle here somewhere, because the overspray will be making the lines. So you just get your scraper like that, and you put it in, and you spray your paint like that. So there's loads of paint come out of there. So after one spray, you always have to wipe it. See, loads of paint come out. See what I mean about the white running off the paint, off the scraper? See, so you got some lines there. But then when you do the middle, if you're going to spray the middle, like just from out of the can, like I've done on the other videos, see that was a light spray then. So see how much paint come out. So that's why I'm not going to put a star in this painting, because I know there'll be just loads of paint come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, instead, I'm going to use this, which is a food tub with the hole in the middle. And I'm going to do the stars with this. So we'll get the white spray paint, and then we're just going to spray into the middle of it to produce your stars. This way you won't let too much paint onto the painting. So what you could do is you could do the lines of the stars and then use something like this to do the middle part, which may work. So I'm going to give that a try, I think. Just got to keep an eye on it running off the scraper. So I'm going to add a star here, I think. So normally when I'm doing the stars, I put the scraper flat onto the painting, so then it goes straight on and makes a line. But because this background's still wet, I'm going to be holding it up a bit. So I'm going to have to keep wiping the scraper every line I do, because of it running off. I think I'll just do one here. See, I'm only pressing this cap down real light. It lets a lot of paint out. Oh, see? I sprayed it a couple of times then. And with the amount of paint coming down, it's just run straight off into the middle of the star there. So I'll do for the stars, I think. Like I said, I'm going to use a plastic food tub with the hole in the middle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it quite above the painting in the middle, and I'm just going to spray through like that. And then the same here. So I think them stars look better like that using that tool, because if I'd have done them just straight out of the cap for white in the middle, I'd have had this big white blob in the middle like that on your painting, and it wouldn't look very good. So I think I'll do for the background. So now I'm going to lift the lid up. So I know this was wet when I put it on, so this most probably stuck a bit. So just take your time and lifting it. So I quite like how that planet's turned out. I quite like the two planets. Even though the paint was wet when I put it on, it hasn't really dug into the paint much. You can see a black line round it, but that might be just the colours. Hasn't gone quite to the lid stencil, and then it produces like a black line round the planet. But I'm quite surprised how well these have turned out. Right then, that's the painting finish. So we'll grab the palette knife or whatever you're using to sign your painting with, and I'm going to sign it here. So I think the Ironlak Lak Spray Paint worked well for spray paint art. The Widowmaker fat cap that came with the can worked well, but let way too much paint out for doing small paintings like spray paint art. For a lot bigger painting, I think it would work fine. Also, with it being a fat cap, you are using a lot more paint, so the cans don't last that long. If I was going to use the Ironlak Lak for spray paint art, then I would swap the Widowmaker fat cap for a skinny cap. That way you would use less paint and have more control of how much paint comes out. The paint took a while to dry. This was because there was a lot of paint down from the fat cap. If a skinny cap would have been used, there would have been a lot less paint down, so it would have dried a lot faster. The dual pressure valve system worked good, but with it having the fat cap on, I found it hard to control how much paint came out. I think it would work a lot better and give you more control over the paint flow using a skinny cap, especially when using it for spray paint art. But this could be down to me using the paint for the first time and not being used to it. So it may just take a bit of practice getting used to the pressure and how far to press the cap down when doing different things, as each brand of spray paint is different. Overall, I enjoyed painting with the Ironlak Lak Spray Paint. It was a bit of a challenge painting with the cap, but I still like how the painting has turned out. It was also nice to use and the colours were nice too. And also, just remember to take your time, enjoy while you're painting, and let each layer stage dry before moving on to the next. Right, so I'll give you a closer look of the painting. It's still really wet, the paint is on the painting. So I hope you found the information in this video helpful and enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by and watching. I hope to see you all in the next spray paint art video. Have a great day, take care, and bye for now.